Fake news is deliberately false information created to deceive people. It is not a simple mistake or a poorly reported story. It is intentionally crafted to look like real news to influence opinions, push a political agenda, or simply cause confusion and chaos. In our modern digital age, this problem has grown exponentially. The internet and social media platforms have become the primary channels through which many people receive their daily information. This environment allows false stories to travel faster and farther than ever before, reaching millions of users in just a matter of hours. The very design of these platforms, which prioritizes engagement and shares, can unintentionally help these deceptive articles go viral, spreading like wildfire across the globe. The reason fake news is such a significant issue online is tied directly to the erosion of trust. When people can no longer distinguish between credible journalism and fabricated content, their confidence in institutions like the media, government, and science begins to crumble. This creates a society where objective facts are questioned and replaced by personal beliefs and emotional appeals. This digital pollution makes it incredibly difficult to have productive public conversations about important topics, from public health crises to national elections. The sheer volume of information available online overwhelms users, making it a perfect breeding ground for manipulators who exploit this confusion for their own gain, leaving the public divided and misinformed. One of the most powerful mechanisms that helps fake news spread is its ability to mimic the appearance of legitimate news sources. Deceptive websites are often designed with professional-looking layouts, familiar logos, and credible-sounding names, tricking readers into believing they are consuming information from a reputable organization. Furthermore, the rise of artificial intelligence has made it even easier to create sophisticated deepfakes, such as realistic but entirely fabricated videos or images of public figures. These AI-generated pieces of content are becoming increasingly difficult to detect, posing a major threat to public discourse and making it harder than ever for the average person to verify what they see online. The speed and scale of social media amplify the problem immensely. An incendiary or shocking headline, even if completely untrue, is more likely to be clicked and shared. Algorithms on platforms like Facebook and Twitter are designed to show users content they are likely to engage with, which often means content that provokes a strong emotional reaction. This creates a feedback loop where false and sensationalist stories are rewarded with more visibility, while carefully researched, nuanced reporting may get buried. The result is an information ecosystem where the loudest and most outrageous voices often drown out the truth, making the battle for factual accuracy a constant uphill struggle for everyone involved. People can be easily tricked by fake news for a variety of psychological reasons, often without even realizing it. One of the most common traps is confirmation bias, which is our natural tendency to favor information that confirms our existing beliefs and worldview. When we see a headline that aligns with what we already think, we are less likely to question its authenticity and more likely to accept it as fact. This cognitive shortcut means we might share an article simply because it feels true to us, without performing any due diligence or checking the source. This is how echo chambers are formed online, where groups of like-minded individuals reinforce each other's biases by sharing the same unverified information repeatedly. The social element of online platforms also plays a crucial role in how we are deceived. We often place a high level of trust in information shared by our friends, family, or people we follow. If a close friend shares a news story, we might assume they have already vetted it, leading us to accept it without scrutiny. This implicit trust makes personal networks a powerful vehicle for misinformation. For example, during the COVID-19 pandemic, false claims about cures or the origins of the virus spread rapidly through private messaging apps like WhatsApp. The personal nature of these shares made the false information seem more credible, leading to dangerous real-world consequences as people acted on harmful advice from trusted contacts. The real-world impact of believing and sharing fake news can be severe and far-reaching. In India, for instance, rumors and misidentified videos forwarded on WhatsApp have incited mob violence, leading to tragic attacks on innocent people. During major events like natural disasters, false information about relief efforts or safety warnings can create panic and hinder the work of emergency responders. The case of Hurricane Helene showed how false rumors about government aid hampered actual relief efforts. These examples demonstrate that fake news is not just a harmless online phenomenon. It has the power to disrupt communities, endanger lives, and undermine the very fabric of social order by turning citizens against each other based on lies. Ultimately, the challenge for individuals is immense because verifying every piece of information is time-consuming and difficult. Most people lack the training of a journalist or fact-checker to meticulously investigate sources, cross-reference claims, and identify subtle signs of manipulation. However, everyone can contribute to a healthier information environment by adopting a more critical mindset. This involves simple but effective habits, such as reading beyond the headline, questioning the source of the information, and performing a quick search to see if reputable news outlets are reporting the same story. A moment of hesitation before clicking the share button can be one of the most powerful tools we have to break the chain of misinformation. In response to growing pressure, social media companies have started to implement measures aimed at slowing the spread of misinformation on their platforms. They are increasingly seen as having a responsibility to make it harder for users to blindly share false content. For example, WhatsApp, which was a major channel for viral rumors, took a significant step by limiting the number of times a user can forward a message to just 5 contacts at a time. They also introduced a label that clearly indicates when a message has been forwarded rather than composed by the sender, giving recipients a visual cue that the information is not original and may require extra scrutiny before being trusted or shared further. Similarly, larger platforms like Facebook have introduced new features and policies to combat fake news. They have partnered with third-party fact-checking organizations to review and rate the accuracy of content circulating on their site. When a story is identified as false, Facebook reduces its distribution in the news feed and attaches a warning label that links to a detailed debunking from the fact-checkers. While this approach has its limitations, it represents an important acknowledgement from the company that it has a role to play in policing its own ecosystem. These measures aim to disrupt the financial incentives for creating fake news and provide users with more context about the information they encounter. Governments around the world are also stepping in with legal frameworks designed to hold platforms and individuals accountable for spreading falsehoods. A prominent example is Singapore's Protection from Online Falsehoods and Manipulation Act, passed in 2019. This law gives the government the authority to issue correction directions to online platforms. When a piece of information is deemed false and harmful to the public interest, the government can order platforms like Facebook to display a correction notice alongside the original post, ensuring that users who see the falsehood also see the facts. This allows for rapid responses, such as when false claims about a train station closure during the pandemic were corrected on the same day they appeared. However, the intervention of governments through legislation is a complex and often controversial issue. Critics of laws like POFMA raise concerns about the potential for them to be used to stifle legitimate dissent or criticism of the government, blurring the line between protecting the public and controlling speech. The key challenge is to strike a balance between curbing dangerous misinformation without infringing on fundamental freedoms. As different countries experiment with different regulatory approaches, from the United States sanctioning foreign disinformation campaigns to the European Union establishing new oversight bodies, it is clear that finding the right legal formula remains a work in progress in the global fight against fake news. While official fact-checking is a crucial tool in the battle for truth, its effectiveness can be mixed. On the positive side, the work of organizations like Full Fact in the UK has shown that public scrutiny can lead to tangible changes. When politicians or media outlets are called out for making inaccurate claims, some do issue corrections or stop repeating the falsehood. This creates a culture of accuracy where public figures are more careful about their statements because they know they are being watched. The presence of fact-checkers acts as a deterrent and helps to hold powerful people and institutions accountable for the information they disseminate, which is a vital service in a healthy democracy. Despite these successes, the impact of fact-checking has its limits. A 2019 report revealed that out of 126 correction requests made to public figures and newspapers, only about half received a fully satisfactory response. Many were either ignored or resulted in partial, buried corrections that did not reach the same audience as the original falsehood. Furthermore, for individuals who are deeply committed to a particular belief, seeing a fact check that contradicts their view can sometimes backfire, causing them to double down on their original position. This highlights that simply presenting the facts is not always enough to change minds, especially in a highly polarized political environment. This reality underscores that technology and laws alone cannot solve the problem of fake news. The ultimate responsibility still rests with each individual to become a more discerning consumer of information. Education is perhaps the most powerful long-term solution. By teaching critical thinking skills from a young age, we can equip future generations with the ability to analyze information, identify biases, and understand the consequences of sharing content online. An informed and skeptical citizenry is the best defense against manipulation. This means fostering a habit of questioning what we read, seeking out diverse perspectives, and prioritizing accuracy over the instant gratification of a share or a like. In conclusion, combating the scourge of fake news requires a multi-pronged approach that involves everyone. It is a team effort. Individual users must be vigilant and responsible digital citizens, carefully considering what they share. Social media companies must continue to refine their platforms to prioritize truth over sensationalism and design features that discourage the mindless spread of misinformation. Finally, governments have a role to play in creating sensible regulations that protect the public without overstepping into censorship. Only through this collective, collaborative effort, uniting careful users, responsible companies, and thoughtful governments, can we hope to win the battle for truth in the digital age and preserve the health of our public discourse.